Welcome back. I forgot for a moment that it might be my responsibility to welcome people back. Sorry. But welcome back. We're playing Wolfspell, and we have just transformed some hard-bitten sword and sorcery adventurers into cute little wolves. And we're about to send them on a task that only wolves can do. So where we last left our wolves, I say that word way too often now. You had just transformed on top of this giant ziggurat. Lightning came down. You had donned ceremonial furs and been transformed, and now you're rolling about in this thunderstorm. I don't think it's been raining though. I think it's just thunder and lightning, right? Like it's So my question for you is, what are you up to? Like, are you like gonna run down the ziggurat? Are you gonna hang out up here and figure out your wolf bodies, or what's the plan?
I think mine like grins and then like smacks John, what do we name her?
Lumen.
With a like kind of tagger it and like dashes off.
I think when you paw me, it like catches me right on the muzzle, and I like don't really know what to do with that. And for lack of anything better, I chase you, but it's very tentative and like kind of begrudging.
That's great.
I am jumping in immediately. Even though I wasn't consulted, I'm like, Pack is playing. I'm playing. Let's play.
Nice.
So, like I have like my big awkward long legs, and I'm trying to chase you.
All right. It sounds like we're wrestling. I got a question. Is Summer wrestling as well?
It will take a beat, and there's this like, I feel like Summer's standing there like broad-legged and awkward, and like head kind of down, and like sees that this starts, and then just is like, and then leaps into the fray.
Nice. All right, so this is how we handle wrestling. All of you are going to roll on this chart. The chart is on page 15 of issue 2 of Worlds Without Master, where the game was originally published. And we're going to go to the roll 20 here, where you have these two giant dice. We have a purple die and we have an orange die. If you right-click on the die, and I see a different thing than you do, but there should be like a random side option or a multi-sided then random side option.
Mm-hmm.
And one at a time, we're going to roll those. We're going to say that the purple one is our wolf die and the orange one is our blood die, because those are the color of wolves and blood, obviously.
Because we couldn't figure out how to change the color of the die. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Who would like to roll first?
I started it.
Misha,
so.
Yeah.
That is a 4 wolf.
Yeah. All right. So your result there is that you will get to describe your play with the other wolves. You just did it. You up and did it. Who's next?
I'll go. Do I just click the die?
Yeah.
Right click.
Right click. Random side.
Nice.
Okay, so is that a 1 wolf?
That is a 1 wolf. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
what we're doing here is we're getting the results for everyone, and then we're going to kind of combine them together to figure out what this means.
Sounds good.
But you will get to describe how you play too roughly, and I will choose one of the wolves at play, and they will suffer Winter's Wrath because of it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Who's next?
I'll go.
Great.
2 blood.
2 blood. You're unable to negotiate the play and feel isolated. Choose one from the list. Oh, this is the saddest wolf to do this to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not suffer Winter's Wrath,
Okay. Oh, wonderful.
but nobody wants to play with me.
Yeah. And I get to separate you.
Oh.
Yes.
All right. You ready for me to do my?
Yeah, go for it.
Very good.
Oh, okay.
That's a 1 and a 1, which how do we math that out?
Yes. So ties are always either a one blood or a one wolf. You get to choose which one you want to do. So you can, one wolf means you describe how you play too roughly, and then I choose someone to give Winter's Wrath to.
Mm-hmm.
And one blood means that you're unable to negotiate play and feel isolated, and you choose two from the list, which is actually the better result in this case because you don't have any feral to lose. So the two would be you're not separated from the group and you do not suffer Winter's Wrath. But you
That sounds
wolf if you want.
And that's I just mess it up. I don't know how to play.
Yeah, and you feel like left out.
That sounds great.
All right. So, so if I understand correctly, if I remember correctly, we have one wolf who could just do it. Wait, I got to pick up the wolf names here. Banshee, you're just totally like, yeah, this is what a wolf is, and
Hello,
you're playing around.
What you do, so I'm doing it.
Yeah, and Lumen plays too roughly. Okay, so go ahead and describe your play, Banshee. What do you? Basically, we're going to. This is what's going to happen. Somebody's going to get Winter's Wrath. I'll decide who in a moment, but it won't be Summer or Ursa, and we're going to leave Ursa behind.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
No worries. So yeah, she Banshee is just like running up and like giving a nip and then running back and then like just kind of bouncing between, every now and again she jumps around one, just kind of running. If you've ever seen like big dogs out in a park running back and forth and
yeah.
Is this process happening on the way down the ziggurat or like out of town? Like, is this what's?
I mean, I was envisioning it going like on your way down the ziggurat.
Great, I wasn't sure. Wonderful, yeah. Fantastic.
I imagine that as Banshee is like kind of nipping at me, it sort of rises my blood a little bit, and not out of anger, but again out of play. I start nipping back, but much like a juvenile like canid that like it still has those like sharp young teeth. And so at one point I nip and it's like just a little bit too hard, or it catches the hide like just so, and I think I accidentally draw blood.
Oh, yes.
Whoever it ends up being.
Excellent. So, everything froze on me for a moment there. Am I here with you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries.
So I think we have the ziggurat, and the group is going one way. I mean, I think Ursa, you roll down the other side of the ziggurat. Like, not like as you're chasing down the ziggurat, you end up farther and farther away from them and like off another side of it, going down. And I'm separating you, so I'm going to do something. I'm just going to go straight forward into this then. I think that when you get to the bottom, there are, let's just be really obvious about that. There's a group of people who are wearing like bear skins. They're not bears, but they've got the bear head here and wearing the bear skins, who throw a net over top of you.
Oh,
wow. on the other side.
Not okay.
No.
And for Winter's Wrath, I'm going to hit Banshee with that, because you just got nipped in the haunches there, and you're like limping a little bit until we can get you to grooming. So but the main group of you were paying attention. We're not paying close enough attention to what was going on as Ursa went down the other side, and so you're separated now at this point. So who's doing what? Well, I want to know what Ursa's doing. You've got a net tossed on top of you.
I have a net. So I know who it is. I have a bit of bear. I'm not of them, but I knew about them.
All right, yeah.
Which is why I was pulled into this in the first place. And I probably ratted one of them out.
Yeah, is there anyone you haven't ratted out? That's
I mean,
Ouch.
I plead the fifth. So now they have me. I think I feel like I don't need to behold the world. I'm too scared for that. Yeah. I'm trying to say to hunger or bend the world.
Oh, okay, yeah. Get yourself out of this mess.
Yeah, I'm immediately like, nope.
Sounds great. Okay, so you're the only one there. When the pack pauses, oh no, sorry, I'm reading the wrong. Here we are. When the pack wishes to say to hunger or sees what they desire. Actually, I think you're facing the perilous, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure because it seems like I can't trigger that one.
Yeah, no, that's what's happening. Danger has befallen you, I think. So what I do is I ask who amongst you is most vulnerable. I think the answer is yes. But I mean, if you guys get to answer that question. So, but yeah, all right. So Ursa is most vulnerable, but also I get to threaten the Winter's Wrath. So this is a group that has come out, has witnessed that something is going on at the Ziggurat, and have come ready because they are suspicious of what's happening.
We didn't invite them.
No.
They don't even go.
They're upset. So they're going to come around the other side of the Ziggurat as well, and the closest to them will be I keep losing the names of the wolves here. Sorry, Banshee. I'll just put that right there. There we go. So both Banshee and Ursa are going to roll. Let's go with Ursa first.
Okay. Random. Before I do this, I think
Oh yeah.
Once the net falls over me, I cower down, and I start making this very wheedling whine. That they probably can't understand. And I'm not sure if they know who I am of the people that were on the Ziggurat. Right. But it's kind of like hey, old buddy, old pal, nice to see you here. Oh my God, I haven't seen you since that last thing that we don't talk about anymore. And I'm trying to be very ingratiating and not non-aggressive.
You're setting up to try and use your +3 blood, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, just making sure.
I wanted to make sure before I rolled the dice.
Yeah, I know. That makes sense.
Oh, it doesn't help.
Oh no! Oh, well, you're wolfy.
You're very wolfy.
Wolf.
You get to choose. You suffer harm, but you chase off or slay the source of peril. But that's my choice. If you are with the pack, you are not. They do not suffer harm unless the threat is supernatural. So you can either suffer harm and chase them off, or slay them, or you can retreat to safety unharmed. Those are your options, but let's see what Misha rolls.
Yeah. That is a 4 wolf.
Wow. Oh, well, you have the same options.
Yeah.
Both of you went very wolfy on this. So what this looks like is they've come running out of the shadows with the bear skins on. They've thrown a net over Ursa. They've come around the corner holding out... I'm going to go with spears. You're not going to go wolf hunting with swords. That's dumb. And no, wait, they don't know they're going to deal with wolves. They do. They have these swords, right? They have these short ceremonial swords that they've pulled out. And I think that gives them pause when they come around the corner. And they're like, wait, hold on. What are wolves doing in the city? So what options are you going to choose of those two?
I am going to take harm and attack.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you?
I was going to choose the same thing. So.
Oh,
Fuck
okay.
On us? I don't think so.
Okay, so this is great. So yeah, I think this is like really, really violent here, right? Like you're straight up attacking them. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much. I see one of them going to draw a sword, and I just full on clamp down on that sword arm before he even gets a chance to clear his sheath.
Excellent.
And
What do you do under the net there?
my behavior is very much like a scared dog. For anybody that's encountered that, like I'm cowering, but if you get too close, I lash out immediately. I'm like a cornered animal.
Yeah. All right. I think that you do in fact slay a couple of them. I mean, like there's a group of them, and they're like, whoa, wait a minute, we're not ready for this. This is not what we were expecting, and they've run off. But there are two that you've, well, let's not say slain yet. They've managed to run off, but you've hurt them in a way that they may not keep going. But both of you have been stabbed. I think just in the struggle, like you get to decide here. There are 3 options when you're harmed. The first one is each scar is a lesson learned. Describe how your wolf is permanently marred and either gain 2 feral or lose 1 feral, minimum 0. Once you have suffered this harm, you may not suffer it again. The second one is the toll of a careless life. Describe how your wolf has lost either an eye or a limb. Once you suffered this harm, you may not suffer it again. And the third one is meat and bone. Describe how your wolf has suffered a fatal blow and passes. And I hope you don't do that one this early.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a scar.
Yeah. What's the scar?
I think I have a slash down my muzzle, and then it kind of skips and then rides over like my very tall for a wolf shoulder, and like cuts through my brindled fur. And I will gain 2 feral.
Yeah.
Because reasoning with the bear cultists didn't work. Yeah. Turns out. It's amazing.
I'm also gonna take a scar. I'm gonna say like one of them, like the one I had, like threw me off, and so I slammed into a wall, and so like the side of my chest kind of caved in a little, so it's like just kind of warped, and just looks super gnarly. And yes, I will also take the 2 feral.
All right. Oh, ouch. All right. So, the way the Face of Peril works is that the rest of you were also involved in this, but neither of you were harmed in it. So I just like, were you nipping at them? Did you attack? How were your involvement in it?
Got it. Okay. Good. So I think that Summer spends time like throwing her, like in essence, just like after unsuccessfully playing with folks and kind of being the last out of the trio to catch up, it feels kind of like a little out of sorts, less separated than than Ursa, but kind of arrives late and basically does her best to just like start like body slamming some folks, and like doesn't really like, still is like very, though like seems healthy and robust, is just kind of clumsy in the process of like just like, oh yeah, I could bite that doesn't really come up, so ends up sort of like knocking to people's knees and is helpful but not notably effective.
How about Lumen?
Yeah,
I think Lumen sees the net go up and like is well enough away to not have to dodge it, but nonetheless just like instinctively faints, and is of sort of like 2 consciousnesses right now. On the one hand, as a person like inside this body, she's trying to figure out who this cult is. She has a context for it. She knows why they're here. She knows why they're trying to capture them. And then there's the wolf that's just baying for blood inside. And I'm trying to figure out how to let my human mind prevail. But I think this is a situation where the pack is in danger. And as high priestess, I've taken responsibility in some ways for these people, and I just want blood. I think this is a moment where the human and the wolf are of one mind. Like, I want blood. And who's the cultist that's nearest to me?
Yeah, I mean, like, would this be people that you would actually know, or just you want a description of?
Know them. I think I know them. Like, I think I know who this sect is, and I have suspicions, even though they're in the bear skins. So I'm looking for their leader.
So I think well, okay, I'm gonna let's say the one nearest you is if it's all right, like, I can think of these sects as interrelated in many ways.
So
that, like, you probably went through training together and then, like, chose your paths or whatever.
That makes sense, because it's very animistic.
Yeah, and I think that this one, I think she was like your, like, one of the trainers, like one of the like head of the initiates.
So I might have been her acolyte at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's come armed with like a staff, which in this case is like, it was meant as like more of a, like, I'm the one in charge, like, pay attention to what I'm saying thing. But like, when you're dealing with animals, the longer your weapon, the better. You know, you keep at bay. And so she's swinging it at you and whatnot.
Okay. I think this is the point where I might be maybe rolling with blood, even though I'm trying to, like, hunt or deal damage. I'm looking for an opening in the swing where, because it's such a long and, like, dense and heavy weapon, it, like, actually takes time. It's almost like a big pendulum. And so when she comes to bring it up in the swing, that's when I can go in really fast. And I want to go for her ankle. I want to go for her Achilles. But I don't know what move to match that with, or how to roll for that.
What we've rolled the face the peril, so the peril has been resolved. So we can just say, if you want, like, so you do this and you have solved this problem. But if you want to do something specific, like capture her or something like that, we can say to hunger and bend the world to your will.
Yeah, let's do that, because I do want to capture her by biting her. Random side.
What did we get?
Ooh, so that's like a tie.
Okay.
But then I can add 3 to my blood. Is that right? Or no?
So you specifically decide thinking about the human mind, right? Like, that's your ability, right? To add 3. So you were paying attention to how this human would move and act. So yes, so you can have either a 1 wolf, a 1 blood, or a 3 blood.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with a 3 blood.
All right, so you're gonna choose 2 from the list below, or 1 from the wolf list, but you're probably better to do from the list below. So right now, the options are: you modify your environment to your advantage. No one is in peril. You do not earn Winter's Wrath. You seize upon your advantage and turn it into success. And we don't care about losing feral because you don't have any feral.
I don't really have any,
And now the thing is, now we have to just quickly decide if you actually have advantage to seize on. If you don't, then you have to modify the environment to your advantage.
Right.
I think, given how the rest of your pack has performed, you do have the advantage here. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that.
Yeah, and I was definitely looking at that. So do I choose 1 or 2?
2. Let me just... Sorry, I scrolled past it here.
No worries.
Choose 2.
I for sure am going to seize upon my advantage and turn it into a success. And what do you think, guys? No one is in peril, or modify the environment to our advantage?
Oh, let's make it weird. Modify the environment.
Yeah, let's modify the environment. Yeah, let's make it weird.
All right. Sure. What does that look like?
Well, seizing the advantage, I think, looks like me successfully actually puncturing through that gap between the Achilles and the bone. and just pulling. So she comes down immediately.
Whoa.
Oh, yes. All right.
Yeah. And I feel like the moment she does, like, that's kind of it for the rest of the cultists. Their leader is down.
Yeah.
And as for modifying the environment, I think in that moment of success, at that point, I think I have like a paw. A wolf probably would have gone for her throat, but I'm still so human that instead I actually put one of my paws like right on her sternum to hold her down, which leaves my jaws open and free to howl, and I start howling in triumph.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, you've captured her. That's great. I get to give you Winter's Wrath, and I'm trying to decide what that. I think in the process you do get hit alongside the. You know what? No, I'm going to make it more psychological.
Ooh, okay.
Because this is someone you know. This is like maybe in your head. I don't know what goes on inside your head, but let me just suggest possibly that you were thinking we'd go in as wolves, steal this thing, and get out, and it won't be a bloody mess. And already it's a bloody mess, right? Like, and
Haven't even gotten there.
Yeah, so maybe Winter's Wrath is just that, like, you're now just questioning everything you're doing. Does that work for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because it was my initiative. I didn't have to make it so gory, but I did. Yeah.
Excellent. So you howl. What do you say when you howl?
I think what I'm saying is that gosh, what word should I put to this? I'm communicating mostly to my pack, and the thing I'm communicating is that ours is the right cause, and that we're in this together, that I'm here to lead us.
That's great. All right, so everyone has an option to howl as well, but Banshee and Ursa, if you decide not to howl, you have to roll to do that. Otherwise, your wolf side is going to be like, I need to say something.
Pardon me, but did we capture?
Yes. You
awesome.
captured.
Yeah.
This former, not former. Sorry, this priestess. You've captured her.
I'm definitely howling, and what I say is, we have their leader, and I know where the relic is, which I've not disclosed before, but we're pack now.
Yeah. Nice.
And I'm super invested in what the pack is doing.
I'm probably also gonna howl, but I want to see how wolfy I've gone.
Oh, go for it. Yeah.
Cool.
Apparently more wolfy than not. So then, I'm probably gonna howl something like rip out her throat.
Kill her.
They don't get to win, or something to that effect. And yeah, she's a little bloodthirsty right now, mostly because her ribs hurt.
Does Summer howl?
Yeah. After a beat, Summer kind of joins in and sort of laments how long the road is, and then transitions over into being really excited about beginning that journey.
Excellent. All right. So there's also, in the distance, beyond the city walls, you can hear howling back. What do they have to say to the weird wolves?
With their poor grammar.
Yes.
Yeah. I think they're. Yeah. I think they're like chiding you a little bit, like, that's where the humans live. Why are you there? Like, there's plenty to eat out here. Yeah, like get out of there, because they can hear where you're howling from. So they like, in a very in the poetry of the wild, like, they're tempting you to leave. Just leave the city. Just go somewhere else. You're going to make it hard on everyone, because if the humans start getting upset about wolves, then they start doing horrible things Excellent. All right. So you have, she's not struggling at this point. She's just wide-eyed and she hasn't quite comprehended what this is yet, but you can see her thinking through because you're not behaving exactly like a wolf, right? Like, so what do you do as a pack? What's going on here? I'm envisioning you like in the like this sort of grassy garden in front of the ziggurat, like, and then like there's a walkway that goes out into the city proper, and because wolves are howling, people are running indoors. I mean, there was a thunderstorm going on too, so there weren't a lot of people outside. But now they're like, "What? No, I want no part of this." So, what are you doing?
Is Lumen still like pinning down this leader? Is that where?
So yeah,
cool. So Summer will sort of like come up, like walk up next to you and like kind of shoulder to shoulder and lean, and not necessarily in a like domineering way, but like I'm bigger than you. Is
gentle reminder.
Yeah, and is going to be like, and we'll just sort of like stare at this, in an open threat, stare at this priestess or this cult leader that's on the ground. And the words, the functional equivalent is like, death is way easy, or death is what we do, so we can leave now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's all you.
Yes, it is. And so upon that, and I want to give you all a beat, Naja and Misha, if there's anything you want to interject here in this conversation before Summer.
I think my, rip out her throat had it covered it already.
want to make space. Excellent.
Yeah, Ursa is like bounding around in like a very tight circle with her tail wagging.
Okay.
Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. And nowhere to go.
Amazing. So after Lumen's just even that initial, Summer will use that as an excuse to tear this cultist's throat out.
Oh, ooh. All right. I mean, if nobody's stopping it, it happens, because I don't see where this is a situation where that's a struggle even.
Right. Yeah. I guess my one question to the group before we do that is like, is there anything we want from this cultist that requires her to be alive, like information or anything like that?
Summer doesn't.
Ursa says she knows where the thing is.
Ursa is way too wolfy to think about that.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have no objections then.
Great.
Catch us. That's not allowed.
Yeah. Great. And so it's like sand ceremony that is quick, and then Summer sort of bloody faced turns away and like spends a moment like rubbing her snout in the lawn, because this is not like a meal. This is just work.
Yeah.
And then turns to Ursa and is like, "Where? Time to go?"
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I want to just interject two things right there. First of all, this is not a meal. This is just work, is a great line. Second of all, you have two of you that are suffering winter's wrath. So you're in a quiet place. You can also groom. Just want to remind people of those rules.
Great.
Go on. I apologize.
Thank you.
Naja is perfectly fine if people want to take time and groom.
Mm-hmm.
Ursa's chasing her tail. So
yeah. Well, Ursa's one of the ones who would need grooming as well. So.
I don't have winter's wrath.
Oh, that's right. You just have an injury.
Yeah, I'm injured, but I'm also super excited and excitable.
Yeah.
So Banshee and Lumen are injured, or have experienced winter's wrath.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I think there's a core part of me that's left pretty shaken by all of this, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I started.
That's
really
great.
did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So do you groom? Is that the?
Yeah.
All right. So where do you go? Like, what's this? Do you stay in this garden here? Do you run off into a corner in the city where the pack can just have a little privacy, or?
Well, when you were describing the city, like this bustling metropolis, I saw it as a city, but like a city kind of like Singapore, where there's a lot of like greenery and verdantry sort of built to it. And so I think within this like oasis, there is a section of it that's very densely grown. It's still cultivated, but it's very much out of sight. And I think that I start trotting there immediately because I feel shame. I feel like human shame about what we've done after the bloodlust, and I don't want to be seen. And I go there and I start grooming myself because at this point I don't even know how to face the group, the pack anymore.
All right. Presumably the rest of you follow. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think there's like she probably goes off and I'm like looking around. Where the hell did she go? This fine.
Yeah.
I go wherever the pack goes.
I have this imagining, Naja, that Summer, like while Ursa's still sort of like jumping for joy and being restless, as Banshee, like, okay, great, I will follow Lumen. I like walk over to you, like gently like hip check you in your enthusiasm and be like, hey.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Yeah.
Because I'm preoccupied with my own tail. You like,
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, we're going this way. I'm going this way. Let's go this way.
Yes.
I love going this way with everyone.
Yes.
So,
and excellent. No, please. That is perfect.
So the ritual itself is over. So the storm clouds have cleared. It is like that dusk time with like the deep, deep blue sky. And like the first stars have started to come out, and you're in this inner, like inside the city. There is like, I love this idea of this like overgrown but cultivated garden. Like this is nobody would be in here at night unless like they were up to no good. I guess that would be a good place for it. But generally speaking, it's just you. I think it's big enough that there's even like small animals that are like. Well, it doesn't have to be big for small animals. What I think is like it's big enough that there's probably even they have like goats in here or something like that. And there's like fireflies, and like I want this whole scene to be very like another worldy, like inside the city, like Twilight landscape. So you're grooming. This is, I read these before, but this is where you clean your wounds and each other's fur and teeth and stuff like that. Are you all just like hanging out, grooming each other?
Mm-hmm.
You can go ahead and describe what that is. Because you're grooming with the pack, I will remove Winter's Wrath from Banshee and Lumen. And then also, if Summer and Lumen want to gain one feral, they can, because they're grooming with Wolfie.
Yeah. I think this is an appropriate time to gain one feral. I do think in like a show of both like pack solidarity and also like a gesture of human atonement, Lumen starts licking the wound where she nipped Banshee too hard.
Nice.
Fair. I kind of get there's probably a moment where like she's like pitting you down, like it's okay. Stop freaking out.
Banshee's very affable. Yeah.
I think Ursa also, like, Ursa isn't really conscious of her own wound because it happened so fast. But she takes some time to care for Lumen, who is having very complex human emotions. And Ursa's like, I don't understand, but feel better. You're valid.
Nice.
And just kind of like generalize, I want you to feel better, and I don't really understand what the malfunction is.
Excellent.
So good. It takes Summer a little bit to settle in and like actively
like
buy and go.
Like when a human is crying and a dog comes up and they're like,
oh, here's a toy, here's something else.
Like I'm nuzzling you. I don't know why you're crying here.
But I care.
Like, I really want you to be happy, but what's wrong? I don't understand. Sorry, Andy, I just had
No, that's very important. Please, no, this is.
So by the rules, I cannot do anything to you after you've groomed, which is great. It just keeps you from being suddenly beset by bear cultists while you're in this garden. So I presume that takes a little bit of time. And then what are you up to? I'll also say there's been some blood spilled, and it's been human blood, and there's a part of you that's like, no. But there's another part of you that's like,
Epi, you said there were goats here in
Yes.
summer. It takes a long time for summer to settle in, and that actually doesn't happen until summer kills a goat.
Oh, so you would like to sate a hunger, would you?
Yes.
Oh, a literal hunger.
We got to eat before we go anywhere.
All
I
right.
guess that's true.
So go ahead, make a roll.
Great. Doo-doo.
Oh, okay. So that's a 3 wolf, 5 blood, which would normally be a 2 blood, but
However,
have to add 1 to the wolf. So now you're a 1 blood, but this is an act of gore.
yes, it is.
So you can do the 4 blood.
Perfect.
So you can choose 3 from the list.
Okay,
You
and
may
I'm
modify your environment to your advantage. No one is in peril. You do not earn Winter's Wrath, and you seize upon your advantage to turn it into success.
you have gone faster than I can keep up
Oh,
with. I don't know what
apologies.
we're looking at. It's okay.
Yeah, page 17.
Thank you.
The top right-hand corner.
Thank you.
The options are: you may modify your environment to your advantage.
Lovely.
No one is in peril. You do not earn Winter's Wrath, and you seize upon your advantage to turn it into success. Or if you want, you can also lose 1 feral if you decide now is the time for me to be more human, but you just got that feral.
No, I'm not giving that up. And I am picking what amid this list of things? I don't know.
3 of them.
I'm picking 3 of them. So there's 1 of these, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And you're the first wolves ever to be in this, so I'm giving you advantage. So you can, like, the goats don't know what a wolf, like, they understand that it's something, there's a predator here and something to be feared, but they just don't know.
They're city goats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need help navigating. I'm overwhelmed, and there's too many pieces. I don't know what I'm picking or the
It sounds
significance
like
of them.
you have 3 options realistically, and you get to make 3 choices.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I recommend
everything except
just
the
starting
last 2.
Well, so you don't need to modify your environment to get an advantage here because you already have one. So you can seize upon your advantage to turn it into success, which means you've grabbed the goat.
Yeah.
You can choose not to earn Winter's Wrath because everyone just got rid of it anyways, and
Great.
that no one is in peril. I think those are the options you probably want to pick, unless you're like, oh, I have a really good idea for how to modify the environment to our advantage, and then
Great.
you have a choice to make. But
That all sounds wonderful. There's just enough like things I'm picking or not picking or picking. There's a bunch of like double negatives I'm having a hard time navigating.
Yeah.
I agree to what has just been established.
okay,
Yes,
good.
Thank
Great.
you.
Yes. So tell me how you stock up on this goat here and take it down.
So there's this really in essence, it takes Summer basically like does a circuit of this space and like checks in on everybody, but doesn't do a whole lot of initial grooming, and will stop in for a little bit of grooming. And it's like, wait, goats. That's the problem. Great. Okay. And reflects back on the idea of like, wait, where is a meal? Right. Like the work is done. Now it's time for a meal.
Yeah.
And at that juncture will note that the goats, of course, like hang out in some place that's in the open, and will do a really quick like snatch and grab of one of these goats. And it's brutal and fast.
Yeah.
Again, Summer is like bigger than everyone around her, and so just uses that to her advantage in this case, and scares the crap out of all the other goats, but takes one of them down, and that's fine. And that is sufficient.
Nice. So you're all well groomed, you're well fed, and one of you knows where this is, right?
Yes. I think Ursa expresses this in like her humanity is gone functionally in this moment, and so she puts her forelegs on the ground, puts her butt in the air, and wags her tail in like the play bow, like, hey, hey guys, I know something. And I like bound forward, nip at Lumen, and then bound backward, and then jump forward again. I'm like, hey, come on, let's go this way. And I'm like, really, I'm wrestling to communicate where to go.
Yes.
So are we wrestling now? That's great. Who's wrestling then? I mean, we know Ursa's in it, but who else?
I'll jump in. Why not? Yeah.
So
I think
good.
there's something about like this playful spirit of the pack that does like call to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard to resist.
Nice. Anyone else?
I think Banshee's just like sitting there, like, okay, we gotta keep going at some point. But she's just watching the two of them because she knows this is good for them. Let them get some of this out.
Summer will like it's another instance of like wait a beat, and will sort of like that eventually the hesitation, there's like that beat of hesitation of like human like self-imposed distance, and that gets overrun by the like, no, I want to be here with my crew, my pack.
Excellent. All right. We'll have Ursa roll first. You
Yes.
starting it off.
Shenanigans.
Oh, nice.
1 wolf.
But you have the 2 ferals, so you're 3 wolf.
Ha! Yes.
Did it.
Wolf.
So you will describe your play with others and gain 1 feral.
Yeah, so I'm like bounding forward and trying to lure Lumen into following me. And there's actually a entrance in this goat area.
Oh.
It goes back into the ziggurat underneath it. And it seems ominous, but I am really excited and happy to show everybody my new thing.
Excellent. Who else is wrestling here?
Me.
Yeah. Lumen, do it.
Sorry, my roll 20 link is like, oh, okay, there we go. Haha, random sides.
Yes.
Okay.
3 and 4. So you have a 4 wolf. So you just get to play as a wolf.
Yeah,
You did
that's all I
it!
wanted.
Oh my god, we're wolves.
Oh my god, is it what I wanted?
That
The
is
wolf is getting
this
me.
game.
What a delightful. Oh my goodness. All right. Y'all ready to see how Summer does or
Yeah.
doesn't do?
Yes.
Oh, is it the exact same?
result.
It's the same
Yes.
result.
All right. So you have a same. Yeah. So
Yes.
how do these wolfy wolves play with Ursa, who's bounding towards this secret entrance? I'm envisioning it as like kind of a natural cave
Yeah.
at this point. Yeah.
Is it like a game of tag in some ways, and like and you just refuse to stop being who's it even when people catch you?
I am always it. Yes.
Yeah.
that is correct.
Like is that
That's
okay?
great.
I love that.
Yo.
Okay.
And Summer doesn't completely bowl you over in being bigger than you, despite every once in a while really wanting to. Right? Like there's these moments of like too much enthusiasm that she reigns in successfully that we see a couple of times, right? Like
I can totally see that because we're doing something very serious, and Ursa has lost track of that.
yes.
Yeah.
It's like I have a hidey hole where there's really important things hidden. Come on.
Yeah.
Misha, is Banshee like coming along and like holding up the end?
Yeah, she's
Okay.
following. She's just watching you guys bounce around each
Okay.
other.
So
Just
good.
following along
Hurting.
sedately.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great. So I'm in the interest of time and whatnot, let's put you in this tunnel then, right? Like
Yeah.
I think so. It's a natural cave that takes some twists and turns that were a-okay for a human to get through and slightly difficult for a wolf to get through, because they require like human-like, reaching with arms and whatnot.
Oh.
But you climb down, and the further underground you get, the more your fur stands on end, because this is like, and the cave starts to turn into like a more I'm missing the word I'm looking for. Human made, right? Like it's worked stone, and you come out into it's very, very dark where you are now. There's probably sconces and places for torches and things, but nothing's been lit. And around you, you're in the catacombs, right? Like this is where a lot of bodies have been old bodies have been laid to rest, and occasionally visited from time to time.
Damn.
What are you doing? What's up here?
I think Lumen is actually a little bit overwhelmed because like she has like the wolf's ability for scent and sensory input, and it's just so much in an enclosed space. So she actually kind of pauses and like needs a second. She keeps shaking her head, and kind of like the mane of her winter coat is like trembling a little bit because she's so just the sensory input is just so intense for her.
Nice.
I feel like Ursa is cowed by how powerful this atmosphere is. Yeah. So where she came in being very playful and like, hey, I have something to show you. Now she's kind of like walking behind Lumen a little bit. And it's like, it's kind of that way, but I thought I wanted to go, but now, So I'm very hesitant and tentative and kind of like creeping forward.
I think Banshee is kind of like listening to the voices that talk to her all the time. And so she's just kind of like sniffing around, taking a look. Oh, what's that over there? I kind of want to behold the world.
Yeah, go for it. So when we behold the world, everyone who would like to can make a roll. We could do this one at a time if you want. Let's go ahead and make your roll. There you go. Oh.
So that's 3 blood, but since I'm using my spooky, can I make it so that would be a 6 blood?
Well, it's actually,
it
I'm trying to bring up where
1 blood.
1 blood.
So I can make it a 4 blood.
Yeah, if you're like particularly looking for the supernatural and whatnot.
Yes.
All right. So on page 16, we said 4 blood.
Yes.
You choose 3 of these questions, and I have to answer them unambiguously and elaborate on those answers. What should I be afraid of? Who is most vulnerable? Or who is vulnerable? What do they want from me? Where am I most advantaged? Who's in control? And what is most valuable?
Let's go with what should I be afraid of?
Oh, that's a good one. This is the supernatural. Oh, good. Yeah, that's great. You know that some of these bodies down here are not at rest. Like that is a thing that you've known for a while in your studies, that this is not a place to dally, if you will. And I think that's slowly seeping, like everyone was kind of wolfy for a while, and then that human thought starts to trickle its way into your mind. Like, wait a minute, I know where we are, and there are restless spirits down here.
Okay.
That's one. What else you got?
What do they want from me?
Oh. Well, the answer is the whole thing that you're doing here, right? Like you're trying to get the bones of a saint back, and they're just like, make our family whole again. Mm-hmm. That's what they want. They've been like this. These have been stolen for a while now, and that's why these things have been restless.
Then who's in control here?
Okay, so that's a good one. For the longest time, this bear cult has been in control. And something happened early this evening you may have witnessed where they were unsettled. I think you can hear echoing human voices, and I think you can hear people arguing because wolf ears are obviously better than human ears. You can, like, the catacombs here will empty into a part of the ziggurat, and you can hear arguments going on over who will be in control of the the bear sect. So what you know right now is that actually nobody's really in control at the moment. It's a moment of disturbance and anarchy in what has been a well-established hierarchy for a while. Who else would like to behold the world?
I think I will.
Yeah, go for it. Oh, wow. Now we're all human-y.
Yeah.
What is your feral?
1.
1. So you have a 1 blood, unless you're specifically going to ask questions about these humans that you can hear, and then you can have a 4 blood.
I think, you know what? I will. 4 blood sounds cool. Why not?
All right.
Yeah.
So you get to choose 3 from that same list. What should I be afraid of? Who is vulnerable? What do they want from me? Where am I most advantaged? Who is in control? And what is most valuable here?
I think definitely what is most valuable here.
All right.
Yeah. Let's start with that.
Okay. So there's, that there is one of these bodies that have been laid to rest is actually, an older saint of the bear cult. And if they're going to be arguing over who's in control, who's in charge, they're going to come before this body, and there are rituals that they'll perform to have a decision made. And you know where that body is, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that is most valuable in this situation.
Yeah.
2 questions.
Okay. Where am I most advantaged?
Well, okay, if we're talking about, like, say, lying in wait for them, they're definitely carved out sections of the wall where bodies have been lain that are dust. Like, there's nothing, but you rolled around in the bone dust. And you could crawl up into there and be fairly well hidden from any people coming down who aren't looking specifically for wolves.
The catacombs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And gosh. Who is in control here?
All right. Okay, I got to give you a different answer than the one before.
Yeah, I just want to see if things have shifted. Although I guess if someone's asked it before, maybe what do they want from me is more specific to Lumen. Let's go with
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think they want, like, I think you can hear that in sort of a Batman Bruce Wayne kind of situation, they that you can hear them arguing, and that they, because of what has happened, they want to consult with you before you were a wolf. They don't realize that you are you as a wolf right now, and so it's there's unrest in the hierarchy, and you have a position of some authority. And I think like the younger crowd in the bear sect is like, we should go talk to so-and-so to help advise us. So there's like does that make sense? Does that work?
Yeah, I think so. Cool.
Anyone else beholding the world?
I'm scared.
You know what? I want to give it a spin in the hopes that it's all wolfish, because
Go for it.
I feel like in the minute compared to,
Yeah.
in direct contrast to Ursa, Summer is like very like pleased with is taking up a lot of physical space, and is not cowering. Oh yeah.
Oh no, that's good. Well, that's a 1 wolf, right?
I've got 1 feral.
Yeah. So that is winter may tell you what scent, sound, or sight confuses and scares you.
Yeah. Tell me about the. Yeah. Is it one of those in specific or all of them?
Well, we're going to leave sight out because it's dark in here, right? You can see some things, but it's, even wolf eyes without a light source can't see much.
Yeah, I got excited about what's smelly and terrible.
Yeah. I think that there's been everyone's paying attention to all of that.
Yes.
The thing that gets you right away is that there's been a new body laid down in here, and you recognize the scent because you slew her at the steps of the ziggurat.
They work fast.
So that's the thing that gets you, because you're like, oh, whoa, they put her amongst the saints, which is not like a thing
you do.
But if wolves come into the town and kill you, that's as close to martyring as
you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so mad I made this person special.
Yeah. All right. So what's the plan? We should what are you gonna lie and wait for them here? You gonna go and try and steal the bones?
I kind of want to try to steal the bones.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's the rashness of youth talking.
I mean, we're here for the bones.
We're in the bone zone and we want the bones. I'm sorry.
Not the bones.
Terrible joke. It was
did good.
Hashtag no fucko though.
All right. This sounds like you're sating a hunger or bending the world to your will. When the pack wants to do it, the wolf with the highest feral is going to roll.
I have 3.
That is Ursa.
You were the highest.
So before we make the roll, I just want to so what's happening is you're going to sneak through while they're doing their arguing and everything like that. You're going to go where Ursa knows they've hidden the bones somewhere inside this ziggurat, right? And steal them and bring them back. Is that correct? Is that the plan?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see that roll.
Wow. Wait, feral. So 3.
Feral? 2 feral?
Yep. You have a 3 feral. It's a tie, so it's a 3 wolf. So you choose 2 from this list, which is at the bottom of page 17. The bottom of the middle column on page 17. You get what you want. No one else must go without. None are put in peril, and you may lose Winter's Wrath. And you don't have Winter's Wrath, so
I don't have that.
Yeah.
Definitely get what I want.
Which is,
what does going without mean in this case?
Well, I mean, there are a lot of bones, and the dogs have to all bring bones back, right? Like, I can interpret that pretty literally by saying that everyone manages to get a bit of the saint's body you can bring back. Or I don't think it's really that important in this case, actually. I think you're good if you just get what you want.
Okay. Get what I want, and none are put in peril will be my two options.
So what's this look like? You sneak, where is this hidden? And what, you have the bear cultists all running around arguing over who's in charge, trying to make things happen inside their busy ziggurat.
What does it look like when Ursa decides to be brave and like start again?
I think everybody else is interrogating the space and trying to figure out the next step, and Ursa's been cowering this whole time, confused by this like cacophony of echoing bear cultist voices that she no longer understands, and weird smells, and like there's dead people, but they might not actually be dead, and like there's a lot going on for Ursa in this moment. And I think she's gotten to the point where she's hunched against the wall with her paws over her muzzle, and when she peeks out to make sure everything is still okay, the three of you are just staring at her like go on, Ursa. And she stands up a little shakily and kind of checks with the three of you like, it's everything, are we okay? It's okay. Okay. Let me go fetch what I brought you here for me to fetch. And she goes to one of the sarcophagi and kind of noses at it and paws at it and leans her too tall shoulder against the top of it until it slides back and the bones are exposed. And then I just reach in with my muzzle and like grab a random femur because I no longer have the respect for them.
Yeah.
And I like run over to Lumen and I drop the bone at her feet. And I'm like, ooh, eh?
Yeah. Well, you got our bone.
Yeah.
Like I brought you this present.
Yeah, you did. Oh, you did so good. Wow, we're all on the fast track to getting our blood debts absolved, I guess.
Yes.
I don't even remember that. I'm just like,
yeah. So we could say that you got these bones back, right? Like you've grabbed a bunch of them, have grabbed them, and you take them back to the resting place that that you need to have them at, which they haven't been in for generations. And because like we're running out of time here, I want to get to this final bit here where we roll. Is that okay? Or does anybody have anything?
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you show up and it's like a special part of these catacombs designed for this group of, this lineage of saints or what have you. And as you come in, there's like a kind of a cold wind that whips around. I'm thinking even going so far as like, Return of the Jedi, like glowing, like bodies that are in repose that are turning and looking to see what's happening and what's coming in. You're kind of having more of a spectral experience of what's going on. And as you've returned the body, you feel your own bodies start to undo, like go backwards, maybe. Let's roll and find out. Who wants to go first? We are rolling here to see if you change back.
I think I would want to roll first, absolutely.
Go for it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're going to roll. You've accomplished your task, so you have a +3 to your blood.
Is that on top of the +3 I already had, or no? Because that would be a +6. That's...
Yeah, no, I think +3 is the max. That's one of the things that I need to clarify in the new ones. But
sure. It just caps out at +3. Okay.
And you have the +1 feral, so you're going to end up at a +2 blood, essentially.
+2 blood. All right, cool. Let's see what happens.
Oh. So you've got 1 blood or 1 wolf. So the question is, do you want to be a wolf who doesn't want to be a wolf, or do you want to be a human that wants to be a wolf?
I think I want to be a human that wants to be a wolf.
All right.
I think I change back, and I'm forever changed also.
Yeah. You return to your true form and find it unfitting, forever shunning civilization and human companionship for the simple comforts of the wild.
Fuck. Yeah. Damn.
A return to form.
Who's next?
I'll go. I have 3 feral right now, but also the 3 blood from accomplishing the task. So no result.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm super.
Oh. Yeah.
Um,
You remain a wolf who will howl each moon to recall a time you were not so.
I think I become Lumen's familiar.
Oh. Yeah.
That's where I've been trending towards, and I'm like, no, this space is great. Just give me things to do and tell me I'm good when I do them.
Excellent. Who's next?
You want to do it, Nisha, or do
Yeah,
you
go for it.
Okay. Is that I am going or you're going?
You're going.
Great. I was like, which? All right. Dun, 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 dun. Oh no.
Well, you've got at least you've got one feral, but the +3
Yes.
because you accomplished the task. So 2 blood, which is the best blood result. You return to your human form in waking life, but run with the pack in your dreams.
Gosh. Talk about, I think the most important thing for Summer is that a lot of that like vulnerability and sincerity travels back, even in lives in tandem with a lot of that like not necessarily like bloodthirstiness, but that like kind of gory directness that was part of like being a human that was often on the outs.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
yeah.
What do we get?
What happened?
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
That's super blood.
Yeah.
But also 2 feral.
Okay.
So
But you
can come down on wolf.
no, because you've accomplished the task, so it's a +3 to your blood as well. So you're 6
blood is the bottom.
blood. So you return to human form in waking life, but run with the pack in your dreams.
Yep.
This is just old hat for you, being of the sorceress nature.
Yeah, I think she gladly puts it away, but it doesn't really affect her nearly as much as it probably affects the others, because it's just like another in a string of weird ass shit that she's done.
Oh. And it's the 4 of us that run.
Well, thank you so much for playing Wolfspell.
Yeah.
This is such a great game. I'm so glad for the opportunity to get to play it again.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, this was a lot of fun.
This is a bloody game.
Yeah. This is
gory.
It was good.
Yeah. We're playing wolves.
It's true. Yeah, that's the thing.
Flowers?
Yeah.
There were flowers too.
There were flowers. There were.
So I think this is the time where we do the outros. This is
so our glorious engineer Strush says.
Oh, okay. So So say who you are, where to find you on the internet, and then if you have anything to plug, if you want to start us off, Andy.
Sure. I am still Andy, which I like a great deal. If you want, you can find me on the internet, aka Twitter, as Fictional Mammal. I will be there. We can hang out there. And I don't have anything to say other than if it's snowy in your corner of the world, I do hope that you've had the pleasure of going outside. It's been no pressure, Naja. None. Doesn't or Misha. It's fine. It's snowy here and I'm very excited about it as it is quite uncommon. So happy snow day, whatever that looks like wherever you are. Gian, what do you got?
My name is Gian Shim. Thank you again so much for having me in this game. It really speaks to my heart in a lot of ways. The best place to find me these days is actually my Twitter, which I think the handle is already up. But for those of you who might have missed it, it's just Gian Shim. And that's where I post all of the LARPs that I write. A lot of them are quite short and designed to be really accessible for like 1 to 2 people. And they're always land connected or nature connected. And for my day job, I work for Trackers Bay, which is that outdoor education and wilderness survival skill company that I talked about. I'm going to toss it over to Naja. Naja, what have you got to plug?
Hello, everyone. I've been Naja. On the internet, I am also known as Tristaray, and you can find me on Twitter at Trist_CHI or my little used Twitch account / Tristaray. I try to stream and then I'm like, but it takes so much energy, and I work a job, which is not an excuse, but it's an excuse. What you will next see me on this. I think my next engagement is playing For the Queen on this channel.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah. That's gonna be
last week of February. So please keep your eyes out for that because I love that game. I'm also now considering a hack of Blaze in the Dark where your rival animus clans surrounding this giant ziggurat. Every time I play one of Epi's games, I'm like, but here's 5 other games in this universe.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to throw a plug out there for DC's mecha game, Plot Armor, which they thought of 24 hours ago and released 12 hours ago. So, like, go buy it and check it out. I think I'm going to play it. It's single player, and I will post my journal somewhere because I'm super interested in that. Misha.
Hi, I'm Misha B. You can find me on the interwebs at BG Gameworks on Twitter or blackgirlgameworks.com. Thing to plug. So this month, Black History Month, I am doing 28 days of Black RBGs. It's a hashtag. Look around. We're trying to we're spotlighting some of the faces and the personalities behind RPGs that are Black. So it'll be cool. Epi, how about you?
I'm Epidiah. You can find me on Twitter at Epidiah. It's I find myself in a very rare situation where I have literally nothing new to play. So satisfied with that right now that I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us for Wolfspell. I feel like this is the point where I should tell you what's coming up on this channel at some point, but I actually don't know the schedule. So should
Check out Sean.
Yeah. Sean Nittner on Twitter will tell you what's coming up on this channel.
Or at Actual Play on Twitter.
Oh, yes.
You could also post
Actual
as Actual Play on Twitter.
John's got the deeds.
Yeah.
But leave him alone. He's sleepy. We got your back, Sean. Don't worry.
And I think that's it. Do we leave on a howl? Do we embarrass ourselves by doing
Oh,
this?
we must.
All right.
Andy, don't give me that face. You wanted to play in the snow. Howl like you mean it.
It's howl time.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Woo, 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 woo.